This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Because that would be weird.
I think we just reskin them as giant insects.
Ooh. Sure. That sounds good.
I wild shape into a human.
What is that?
God, it's hideous.
Why is it naked?
All right. So I guess we can start. The shadows of the blades of grass and trunks of trees stretched long across the ground as the sun set once again in the Enchanted Valley. For a brief few minutes, all that lived under the green canopy saw the overpowering oranges and reds far in the western horizon of the hot, glowing fire that gave them life every day. But as the life-giving heat left the sight of the woodland creatures below the great green expanse above, it was not slumber that found them. No, tonight no one would sleep, as there were spoils to be plundered and a prince to be disgraced. The castle belongs to His Highness Lord Regent Benjamin Lawrence Fitzwalter of Crumbleton, Duke of the Purple Acres, and Most Noble Prince of Trummelstrop, or the Purple Prince for short. Long has he reigned in this corner of the Enchanted Valley, maintaining trade relations with the Duchess of Dobrucken, protecting his lands from marauding Maurice and his troop of motley martins, and taxing the peasants to death, as a noble is wont to do. The tale starts here, after the sun has set, and the chill of twilight has wrapped itself around everyone in a cold embrace. Not far from this large stone castle, in a small camp, the remaining coals of a tiny fire encircled in stones are extinguished with a heavy thump of dirt landing upon it. Armor is donned with squeaks of oiled leather and clanking of metal chains, while swords and shields are brandished and tested for battle. Everyone knows what tonight is all about. You happen to be a ragtag band of brigands, as the prince would likely say of you, who have decided that enough is enough. This is the night where the prince will get what's coming to him. The prince will pay his taxes. So we'll have everybody describe your guys' characters, I guess. So let us go with George first. Who is your character?
Yes, I am Grim. I was miner. Mine got bad. I killed things in mine, like that more than smashing rock. I smash what you point me at. And he is a mole, so I don't really know what sizes we're going with, but, mole-sized. Really jacked for such a little guy. Thick glasses, like really thick spectacles that just kind of sit on the edge of his snout. And you notice that he doesn't appear to see very well, but he's a tiny little buff man. He's got a hammer, a couple of hand axes, and a net.
Nice. Nyessa, how about yours?
My name, well, you can call me Rosie. That's a nice mousy sort of name, isn't it? And Rosie, in quotation marks, is a sort of pale brown rat with a sprinkling of gray in her fur. She carries around this, also in quotation marks, walking stick that she leans pretty heavily on, except you've seen her move pretty quickly without it. She dresses in these sort of tattered robes that are covering up her leather armor, and you've all been around her long enough to know that the dirt on her clothes and in her fur is very carefully cultivated.
Okay. And to finish us off, let's go with Swan's character.
Hi, I'm Dizzy. Dizzy is a young stoat. She, bless her heart, she's not very smart at all and not very observant. It's like a stoat is like a cousin of a weasel. She's very pretty, which is about all she's got going for her. That and the fact that she's surprisingly very good at magic.
This is our fucking heist team?
Yep.
I'm sure that we'll do fine. No problems whatsoever.
Great.
This is amazing. Okay, I'm in.
All right, so you three are a resident group of adventurers in the Enchanted Forest. You're known among some of the common folk as ones who can cope with the common dangers of the woods, and who have an extraordinary sense of safety and danger, or are known to acquire that which the common folk can't, or possess strange and extraordinary powers that make you exceptional above the rest. Most of your work at this point can be described as mercenary work, clearing out bandits, scaring off a monster or two, escorting a cart or something like that, or fetching something otherwise unobtainable by the average person. In much the usual way, you were approached by an individual who wanted to get something done, but didn't have the means to. By the way this person spoke and the way that they walked, you could probably tell he was a little bit more influential that he let on, but he wanted to keep it on the down low, and generally you guys don't ask too many questions. But nevertheless, you all like the proposal. Get into the Purple Prince's treasury, steal one of his most valuable possessions, and you can take whatever else you want while you're in there. You've been asked to acquire a sword. It's an ornamental piece made of gold, so not entirely functional, but it is quite near and dear to the Purple Prince, and would jeopardize his power a little bit in his neck of the woods. For all of you, he's taxed you all kind of unfairly, as well as your loved ones, should you have any. And you know he's got to be stashing it around somewhere. The roads are barely maintained, if that. No new guards seem to have been hired, nor have any shipments really come out of the estate, although plenty of high fancy-falutin' people have come in recent months, and trade to the castle has increased coming in. And the Purple Prince, for those of you who have seen him occasionally parading about his neck of the woods, seems to have gained a little bit of weight. So all of you are quite familiar with his castle, as you do live in the neighborhood. And I can move this over here to kind of show you guys the map that I drew. So it is a little bit of a standard castle in terms of its fortification design. You know that on the western side there is the big keep where most of the servants, staff, and the prince himself lives. And behind that is this river that kind of acts as a moat along the backside. There is an inner wall that contains an inner courtyard, as well as an outer wall with an outer courtyard where there is, a training area for the guards, blacksmith, church, things like that. Some of you have been inside of the outer wall when the Purple Prince has had, big shows of power and wealth to all of the common folk in the area, in which case you have all been invited at some point to gaze upon the grandeur of what he has acquired. And you know that the walls themselves are decently tall, probably about 3 to 4 hairs tall in size. For most of you being below average height individuals, this wall is rather large. You know that he is well guarded, with a handful of various different beasts, a couple of badgers, a few hares, a couple of martens, and etc., etc. And while you know a little bit about the makeup of the castle, most of your knowledge at this point has come from your contact. Your contact has arranged a way to help you guys get into the castle, should you want it. And based off of what you all know, you've also been able to kind of put this together yourselves as well in terms of how to get into the castle. So your contact has stated that the treasury is located in the northern half of the keep, on the northern side behind the inner curtain, and at the northernmost point of the inner bailey, right around there. The door that's closest to it in terms of getting into the actual keep is the main door, but obviously that's a little bit difficult to get to. In terms of theory crafting a way into the castle, Rosie, you would have known that there is a rather high hill, as well as some higher growing vegetation next to the northwestern corner of the wall, right where it kind of meets the keep. You could probably climb that hill, and possibly with the clever use of rope or some such instrument, you could probably climb over onto the wall. In addition, with Dizzy's particularly charismatic abilities, you may be able to disguise yourselves as some fancy unexpected guests, although your contact warns you that would make your presence known and you would likely be watched, although you can possibly get inside. Your contact has suggested that he has a friend that could possibly get you in. You would avoid the southern barracks and the northern barracks. However, he can only get you in on the southern side of the keep, and you'd have to travel through the entire keep in order to get to the treasury. But you can bypass at least having to try to get through the barracks.
What do you all think? Not you.
What?
I said not you. You.
Okay.
Mouse girl. And he does air quotes.
Well, I think a quiet approach would be best. I don't really fancy strolling in through the front door, pretending to be some high and mighty sort.
Grin does not pretend.
Then that's settled at least.
Are we sure explosives are not option?
Maybe we'll leave that for our way out.
They are difficult to come by. Well, do we want to climb wall and face barracks, or get put in keep and go across that? As you may be aware, and I clank across the floor in my chainmail, I am not quiet.
I can make you invisible.
I am not quiet.
I also have something that could make all of us a little bit quieter at least, as long as we stay close together. But maybe it's best if we minimize the need to be quiet.
I mean, if we go through barracks, it will not be quiet. I trust myself personally to knock out guards quickly, better than I do sneaking across entire keep, but I leave it to vote.
I'm a good liar, so.
I'm not sure you can lie well enough to convince anyone that the two of us, and I nod to our mole friend, are supposed to be there.
I don't know, she is pretty.
You just say things that aren't true and then people believe you. It's real easy.
You frighten me.
She smiles.
I vote for going in through the north wall.
Then it's settled. That is my preferred way as well. Perhaps the slutty one can talk to the guards in the barracks before I smash them. No offense.
What?
Oh boy.
All right. So gathering up your things, you decide that your course of action is going to be to try to infiltrate over the northern wall onto the ramparts and through the northern barracks. You guys know that it is closer to the treasury, but potentially more dangerous, and all agreeing that this is a risk that you're willing to take, you decide that this will be your course of action. So you wait until it gets a little bit darker so that you can at least get close to the castle without being detected. It doesn't take you too long to get there. The Purple Prince's castle is in a very obvious, clear, and open location. He's made it very, very easy for people to find it, very, very purposefully. And over the course of maybe about an hour and a half kind of deal, you manage to get to close to the northern wall, kind of cresting around these two northern turrets that are situated upon the wall itself, keeping an eye out. You can see from the torches that are lit on the walls, there are a few guards, but not too many. It seems to be a relatively quiet night. And you wait until a couple of the guards have moved closer towards the east as you eventually reach this hill that has a rather large tree that you are able to climb up and potentially either jump from the tree onto the wall or walk over a rope that you can toss over to the wall.
Tell me this, do either of the two of you look particularly strong?
No. I don't look weak, but I'm not very strong.
Okay, we need the rope.
Okay.
That might be the quieter option anyway, if we don't want to get noticed right away.
I've got a spare crowbar, and I'll tie my 50 feet of rope to it, so it's almost like a grappling kind of thing.
Give me.
Here.
And I will climb the tree.
All right. Give me... well, actually, a tree is, for you, would be not super difficult to climb.
How far away is the tree from the wall?
You could probably get about roughly 15 feet. Like, if you climb up into the tree, and then you kind of go out onto the branches until, you know, it's a little bit difficult to support your weight, you could probably get about 15 feet away from the wall.
Okay. I will take the grappling hook, wait till...
Before you do anything, I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity to cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
So we'll have that for the next hour, assuming I keep concentration.
Super. I'm gonna wait till the guards are not looking in this direction, hopefully, and summon a mage hand to take the crowbar and go tie it to something on the wall.
Nice.
Oh my god, are we getting a rogue?
Oh, that would be so helpful.
A rogue? On a heist? Why would we want that?
Please.
But yeah, I'll
God.
tie it off on the wall and then tie my own side.
Coming late to the party after talking through all of this.
Klouse.
One of your friends shows up. Klouse, would you like to introduce your character right off the bat here?
Sure. He's a rabbit, and he's wearing some leathers, a leather vest, and he has a bowler driver cap, I think is what they're called. And he's munching on a carrot.
All right.
Peter.
All right, so late to the party, your friend Peter Cottontail comes bounding through the woods, catching up to you guys, where the rest of you are situated for Grim on the tree next to the wall of the castle, and the rest of you underneath. And Grim, you are going to toss it over once the guards kind of move out of the way?
Yeah, my mage hand can stretch up to 30 feet, so I can just kind of send it over and tie it off.
Okay. Roll a stealth check, but you can use intellect instead of dexterity. And
ooh, thank you.
Because of that, you don't have disadvantage from your armor either.
And you can add +10 for Pass Without Trace.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good roll. That's a 16, so 19 plus 10, 29.
Incredibly silent. This arcane hand you conjure into the air, it grabs this crowbar, gently floats over, drops it onto the ground very, very gently and quietly, and then it kind of scrapes over off onto the stone, on the stonework, and it gets hooked onto a little kind of crevice and crack in the stone. You give the rope a good, heavy, hard, strong tug, and it seems to be connected well.
All right. I'll tie my off and then scramble down so we can do introductions. Friend Peter, good for you to make it.
Well, I heard you were break into the castle and I couldn't miss out on that.
It is good that you are here. We are somewhat hopeless without your skill set.
No, I think it'll be fun to watch and see what you can do. Good to see you again there, Dizzy. Rosie?
Rosie. That'll do anyway.
Hi.
I thought that was your voice.
Yeah.
Maybe try not to use it too much while we're doing this.
Got it.
Okay. So, rope is attached. I will climb. Well, should I climb over first? I admit I am not the best scout, but we should go soon before guards come back and see rope.
I think we should all go across as quickly as possible.
Agreed.
How high is this wall?
You are a hare, and so it's about 3 to 4 times as tall as you are. But Grim has climbed a nearby tree and placed a crowbar against the wall and kind of jimmied it into a spot tightly, and then tied the rope to the tree. So you could walk across the rope, or you could try to jump from the tree to the wall. It's about a 15-foot gap, so it's a pretty big jump, but you could probably do it. But it is a very high wall.
I climb the tree and go across the rope.
Okay. In this
follow.
case,
Yeah.
Everybody stay close to me. Don't get more than 30 feet away.
Well, that's a very specific number, but all right.
can everybody roll acrobatics checks as you are traversing the rope?
Don't like that.
18.
Dirty 20.
That's a 8.
And a 10.
Okay. Peter and Rosie, easy enough. You two are relatively nimble creatures, and so it's pretty easy for you. Grim, you're not as nimble, but you are pretty strong. And so you kind of like crawl out onto the rope, and then you kind of shift, you kind of roll over it, and then you're hanging onto it, and you're like pulling yourself over to the wall, and then you pull yourself up. Dizzy, as you are trying to climb across this rope, you get a little bit distracted as a firefly is flying through the air, kind of glowing and then dimming as it flies near you. And you lose your balance. I need you to roll a dexterity save.
Also bad. It's a 7. God damn it. Wrong die to choose for tonight.
As you fall to the ground.
Is there any chance of trying to catch her?
What do you want to use to try? Let's do that.
Am I still crossing? Can she grab me?
That's what I was thinking, just like trying to grab her if we're still...
Okay.
Things.
Yeah, I'll give Grim a chance to try to save her.
Okay. How would I do that? I'm just going to try and reach out and grab her while holding onto the ropes with my legs.
Okay. Let's go with athletics then.
Okay. Good at that. Don't suck. Ooh, good. 21.
Okay. As Grim, you notice Dizzy kind of give a little bit of make a little noise as she loses her balance. You look back and you quickly grab her by the hand and crawl over to the wall, and you're able to like grab a hold onto it and pull her up onto the wall, and then crawl up yourself on there as well.
Thank you, Grim.
Yeah. Fine. Can we get this over with?
All right, so what is our plan here? Are we going over the roof? Are we dropping down into the courtyard?
Well, we have to get inside somehow. Courtyard, it's probably only main front door. We go through barracks, we might be able to find side door.
And have we seen any windows on the building yet?
You've seen some arrow slits, but you haven't seen any proper windows on this side of the keep. You know that there are some on the western wall, but there's no way to really access them. as there is a river that runs right by the castle there. But yeah.
Alright, shall we drop down and take a look around?
How is the wall connected to the buildings here? Is it like is there like an entrance going from the top of the wall into an upper story of the barracks area, or?
Yes. So you guys are up on the northwestern corner here, right where this L-shaped rampart is, basically. And you see that there is, this turret here. But as well, the wall connects to the keep here. And it looks like there is a service door here of heavy reinforced wood, although you have no idea where it goes.
And how tall is the wall of the barracks?
But let's say that, hairs are kind of like human-sized-ish kind of thing. It looks like the rampart goes into what would be like a second floor area. Mm-hmm. And then there's about the wall in front of you to the keep is about probably what would be equivalent to 10 feet tall.
What if we get up this wall?
Okay. And then what? Ooh, that was a weird accent.
Then we're on the roof.
I think it'll be better than dropping into the courtyard from the wall here, because then we still have to go through another wall to get to the main entrance.
Why don't we just go through the door?
Well, we can at least see if it's unlocked. And where is the treasury on this map?
Do you see my squiggled circle?
Yeah. Is there?
It's somewhere in there. Okay.
Alright, well, if you like, you go the doorknob.
Be my guest.
Rosie, could you perhaps keep eye out for patrolling guards coming back?
I think I can do that. And I will keep an eye out for patrolling guards.
Alright. Roll a perception check for me. Rosie, Peter, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to go up to the door and check and see if it's unlocked.
Okay. So you quickly check. It seems to be unlocked.
I'm going to put my big slappy ear to the door and see if I can hear.
Okay. You roll a perception check as well. Dizzy and Grim, are you guys doing anything?
No.
Not really.
Okay. I'll have you two roll stealth checks then.
Okay. It's a 19 perception for me.
And a 13 for me.
24 on the stealth if we still have pass.
Yep.
21.
Okay. Rosie, you do see a guard on the nearby tower, just to the east of you guys. He's not looking in your direction. He's kind of looking out into the rest of the forest and the valley towards the north. But you can see him. The top of the tower is torchlit. So, and Peter, you're listening against the door. And you don't appear to hear anything on the other side of the door.
Alright, well, I'm going to open the door very gently at first. Just crack it.
Okay, Peter, can you roll a stealth check for me then?
Sure thing.
Dizzy and Grim, you guys don't seem to be noticed so far.
And that's a 16.
Okay. So, Peter, you very gently...
Plus 10 if you have not added pass without trace.
That'd be 26.
Yes. So very, very gently as the shadows kind of darken around you guys, Peter, you very gently turn the handle on the door and you kind of pull it outwards and peek inside. And there doesn't appear to be anybody for a second. And then you hear some like stomping of boots, and you very quietly shut the door, but not quite all the way, as you see through the cracks somebody walk past the door, down a hallway it seems. After he passes, you kind of creak open the door again, and you see a rather hefty looking Martin in kind of this chain armor walk past down the hall and then around the corner.
Well, looks like the coast is clear for now. Not sure where this leads, though.
Well, presume treasury would be kept safe that is down, closer to ground.
You're a wise man, Glenn. Let's head that way, then. See if we can find some stairs. And unless there's objections, Peter will enter into the room and try to get a good look around, see if there's stairs or a hallway that leads to some.
Okay.
And I will follow him in.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys...
I was just going to say I'll bring up the rear.
Okay. So you guys... let's just go with that. So you guys open up the door most of the way in order to let you guys in, and Grim, you very quietly close the door behind you. You guys have walked into what looks like a hallway that kind of hugs the outer wall of the keep here. And Peter, being someone who is keen on what is dangerous and what is not, you lead the rest of the party in the opposite direction that the Martin went down. So you guys come into this hallway, the Martin went down left, you guys turn right. And you kind of head around the corner and you peek around, and you see that this hallway continues on this like second floor balcony area overlooking what looks like the mess hall of this northern barracks. You peek your head around the corner and you can see as the shadows kind of hug the rest of you guys up here, down below there is a torchlit mess hall with what looks like to be 4 tables, 4 rectangular tables with benches. There are a couple of guards that are currently sitting down eating what looks like taking a break. You see 2 rats, guards in chainmail, sitting there kind of quietly talking, eating what looks like bread and cheese with a little bit of something to drink and whatever they have in their cups. But they seem to be engrossed in their conversation for the moment. You can see further down on this balcony, it continues until the balcony closes up and continues on down another hallway along the second floor here.
Alright, so it looks like there's a mess hall around the corner here. We can sneak by, but I'm not sure what lies beyond on the next hallway.
Well, we need to get through the barracks to get the keep. So if we keep heading away from where we came in, hopefully it will lead to at least the keep. We should notice at least better decor once we're in there.
Alright, all together?
Let's go.
We'll cross the balcony.
So as you guys cross this balcony, everybody roll stealth checks then.
I'm rolling strangely well tonight. 25.
Next one of us.
Is Bass with Trey still up?
Yep.
28.
22.
Dizzy?
22.
Nice.
25, actually.
Okay. Easy enough with the combination of Rosie's magic and the fact that these 2 rats seem to be not looking in your direction at all. You very quickly make it across the balcony into this other hallway. You can see in this hallway, as it's along the western wall, there are a few windows here. These large glass windows that have these metal lattices set inside of them that you can kind of see through them, and they're overlooking the river on the west side of this castle. This hallway is made out of stone on the right side, and on the left it's covered in these kind of like wood panels, and you can see a couple of doors down the hallway. There's one to your immediate left, and there's one further down the hallway, again on your left. You can see where the hallway ends and curves to the left at the far end of it as well.
Should we continue down the hallway or see if there's anything in these doors? This might just be more barracks.
I doubt any of these doors would be what we're after. They're not well guarded enough.
Alright, well let's check it out in this next corner then.
So quite easily you guys travel down the rest of the hallway. And Peter, taking the lead, you peek around the corner and you can see a staircase going downwards to the first floor.
Are there any footsteps coming up said staircase?
Not at the moment. Right at this moment, you can't hear any footsteps.
Alright, down we go.
I check to make sure Dizzy is still following.
Yeah, she's sticking with the group.
I poke her when she starts to turn and wander.
Oh, yeah.
Rosie, your motherly instincts kick in, and you turn around just in time to see Grim putting a hand in front of Dizzy and pushing her towards you.
With my head count complete, I follow Peter.
Okay. Peter, you reach down to the bottom of the stairs leading this infiltration, and you see a hallway that intersects like a T with this, with the bottom of this staircase. To the left, you can see through an archway is the mess hall that you guys just traversed over, and to the right, you can see it continues on to another T intersection. And just as you begin to wave for the people behind you that it's safe, you see a guard rounds the corner on the far side that you were looking and begins walking towards the mess hall.
Is there a beneath the staircase storage area? Or anywhere to hide?
Not right here. No, it's kind of just stairs with walls on either side of the stairs meeting in this intersection.
I turn around quickly to them. Alright, so there's a guard coming. Either we slice his throat when he comes around the corner, or we back up and try to hide somewhere. We have 3 seconds to decide.
I start backing up.
Alright. Reverse. Quietly.
I find the nearest door on the left.
Okay. So, Grim, you very quickly open up the nearest door to you guys as the rest of you scramble up the staircase. Peter, you kind of just keeping an eye out, you peek your head around the corner as you reach the staircase, and he walks on through the intersection towards the mess hall.
Alright, we're good.
I will try and close very silently the half-open door that I was about to flee through.
Yeah. You take a peek into the room, and you were just about to walk into what looks like, if not the only, then one of the guards' quarters. You can see a few beds and a couple of foot chests in that room. But You very quietly close it. Follow Peter's lead.
Alright, well, we have a couple T intersections further ahead. We could go where the guard was coming from, or try the other direction.
Well, we do not want to go to mess hall, so away from that.
Based on where we are, which direction seems to be leading more into the keep itself?
Roll a survival check.
Okay. Let's see what I add to that. That's a 23.
Okay. Rosie, your sense of direction is really, really good. You know that this hallway that you guys have intersected with at the bottom of the stairs, to go towards the mess hall would be north, the other way would be south, and if you were to go to that T intersection, if you take a turn to the left, it'll probably lead further into the keep and closer to the eastern wall of this keep where the treasury is supposed to be.
If we go down that hallway and turn left, that should get us in the right direction.
Oh, good.
Dizzy kind of does the left right where you hold up your hands and do like the L's. Got it.
Does that help her if she doesn't know how to read?
I don't know.
She still has it wrong.
Yeah, she totally like holds up her right hand and is like, got it.
Just does the peace sign. Not even a no.
Just follow us.
Okay.
All right. So you head down that hallway, you guys turn left, and you can see this hallway is a lot more well decorated. It's got this nice rug that runs the entire way of this hallway. You can see a couple of paintings that are hung up on the walls in this hallway. You see a door to the left, this very grand reinforced wood double door on your guys' left. And then at the end of the hallway to the right, there's an archway, and the hallway ends in stone. You've got a double door on your left, and then a little further on to the right, there's an archway.
Well, this looks pretty grand. You think it's a treasury, or maybe quarters of some sort?
Probably not quarters, maybe office or ballroom.
I'm expecting there to be some sort of guard outside the door of the treasury.
Yes, it would make sense.
Alright, well, I suppose we can skip this one for now. Try the other
Sure,
place.
there might be like fancy ceremonial weapon inside. I could use a new axe.
Do you want to take a look inside? Just a peek, then.
Oh, no. Peek. I like peek.
All right. Peter will try to look through the keyhole.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, we'll try other methods.
So, Peter, roll a perception check as you try to see through the keyhole. While Peter's doing that, what are the rest of you three doing?
Probably watching him.
I am keeping an eye out and an ear out for anyone coming.
Cleaning my glasses.
Dizzy, roll a perception check.
Oh,
Rosie, roll a perception check.
Oh, it's surprisingly okay. So -2 is 9.
I don't think this is great. Oh, 13.
Okay. Dizzy, you are watching Peter very intently for about 3 seconds. And then you realize that he's just looking at a door very, very closely, and it's not nearly as interesting as you thought it was. So you turn around and look down the other way of the hallway. Rosie, you're intently listening, and you kind of hear some shuffling around that's echoing around the hallways, but it's kind of directionless. You're not entirely sure where it's coming from, and it doesn't seem to be getting louder.
Okay. So I keep I keep like watching it sort of in that general direction.
Okay.
But I don't do anything else.
And I get a natural 21.
Natural 20 for 21. And so, Peter, you kneel down in front of this keyhole, and you look inside, and you can kind of see what's going on in this next room. It looks like a mixture between a bedroom, office, and almost like a trophy room kind of thing. You can see there are a couple of small, what looks like urns and decorative pieces that are set on a couple of tables. You can see a bed in the far left-hand corner from what you can see through the keyhole. And you can kind of see near the center of the room, there's kind of a desk with like a ink and quill and some papers and things like that.
Do any of the baubles look expensive?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not the treasury, but there might be a few things for us to swipe. Make it worth our while.
You don't happen to see a little wooden box in there, do you? About the size of my hand?
Actually, now that you mention that, I did see a box exactly like that.
Do I believe him?
Possibly a size? Yeah, I'd say so.
You can roll an insight check if you want.
I'm going to roll an insight check.
Aye, that'd be much appreciated. And Peter, if you just want to say that you are or not, or whatever.
That is a natural 1 for 7 total.
Peter sounds pretty convincing.
All right, let's go take a look then.
All right, let's Peter the lock then.
Okay. And roll a Thieves' Tools check.
Oh
I
boy.
don't know if I like that expression.
Ooh. It's a 7.
I couldn't help with that, could I?
Sure. What do you want to use to help?
Well, I am proficient in thieves' tools because I used to do crime.
Hey. Sure.
So I could be, no, you did. No, you gotta like that, and I'll tap it.
Because he already rolled, I'll have you roll the Thieves' Tools check as well.
Oh no.
Can I cast guidance?
Okay.
Yeah, you can cast guidance on her.
I will
What is
cast
that?
guidance.
Help me with.
So I believe that gives you a 1d4 extra.
Cool. I'll take it anyways. And that's dexterity.
Yep.
18.
Nice. Somehow you know how this lock works. You have no idea how, but you do. A little voice inside your head tells you that you have to turn it the other way and then just move it up a little bit.
Yeah. Obviously.
All right then. And Peter Wood is going to get out of her way and let her do it.
And it's like, and then through the, and then there.
And then it unlocks. Kind of swings open just a little bit.
Seriously, does she frighten anyone else?
I just grin at Grim.
Frighten what? The Daisy?
A little bit. Anyway, we go inside.
Okay. You push the door open and you look inside. It is a bedroom. It's late at night, but it doesn't look like anybody's in here right now. You can see the bed is nicely made. It's like this large 4-poster bed with these beautiful like curtains that are drawn back on it. You can see a desk which has like a little mini statue of what looks like a small mouse sitting on it. You can see a bunch of papers and quills and some ink. You can see on the right side there is a single bookshelf against what looks like the stone wall on the right, where the left side is again this like wood paneling. And the bookshelf seems to be about half full of books. Looks like old leather-bound ledgers, a couple of them wood-bound with string. And you can see against the far wall, there seems to be a small, like, weapon display of a couple of swords that are crossed with a shield of this very, very bright, almost gaudy-looking purple paint on it, which you would know is, the Purple Prince.
I am looking around immediately for the small wooden box that Peter told me he saw.
Roll a perception check. While Rosie's doing that, what are the rest of you three doing?
I'm looking for anything shiny to take.
Peter pulls out a bag like a Santa Claus bag and starts to just put anything that looks expensive in there. Opening the desk drawers and throwing stuff in there.
We should be careful from casing it too obviously. Perhaps we hit this room on the way out? Well, no, might as well. We'll probably have to go out with bang. Have fun.
We'll jam the lock on our way out. Slow him down a bit.
That's 17. Wait, let me double check this number. Yes, 17 perception.
Okay. Dizzy, what do I want you to roll? Roll investigation.
The only thing I don't have a negative in. 10.
Okay.
Doesn't need to be expensive, just shiny.
Just shiny. Okay, so Rosie, you're looking around, and along the right-hand corner, there's no way that you could have possibly seen it through the keyhole. Like, you walk into the room, and to the immediate right, against the same wall that the door is on, you see another small desk, that looks to have a few little knickknacks and baubles and that kind of thing. And on the far left-hand corner of this desk, you can see a small wooden box. It looks exactly like what you were imagining it.
Okay. I kind of give Peter a look since I realize he couldn't have actually seen this from where he was looking. But I go over to the box. And I'm just going to casually flip it open.
Okay. So you very gently flip it open. You look inside, and it looks to be a small, looks like a jewelry box. There's a few little cushions inside, and you see slots for 6 rings, although one of them is missing. There are 5 rings in this box.
And I just close it again.
Dizzy, you're looking around, looking just for anything shiny and interesting. You see some tarnished pieces of silver, like money, that are on the desk that Peter is grabbing a couple of the small figurines from. And you're like, nah, that's not shiny enough. And you go looking around, and you see on the bed what looks like one of the tassels of the rope that holds the curtain back. You kind of twirl it around a little bit, and it looks like the string kind of shines as you move it around.
I will take a dagger and cut it off and put it in my pocket.
You cut off this shiny string tassel, put it in your pocket.
I'm very pleased with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, Glim.
Yes.
You're good at sniffing things, aren't you? I want to see if there's any sort of secret safe or doorway, anything like that. These folk always have something.
Hey, look.
Okay. Roll investigation.
I was going to ask, does this count with my minor thing?
Yeah, I'm going to say with your minor character trait, you can roll with advantage.
Sweet. Garbage rolls. My first garbage rolls, that's a 10.
10. You're looking around, and nothing in particular jumps out at you. Seems just a little... You're not sure, but something seems a little weird in this room. But nothing in particular jumps out at you.
I pull on the shield thing and check those swords. Are they worth anything?
So you pull off the shield and you look at the crossed swords. They look like steel swords that have been engraved a little bit. They're mostly decorative. They do look functional, but they look well made and decorated on top of being decently functional.
Nah, I am not interested. I find nothing. This poor person lives here.
I think you might be right there, Grim. There's hardly anything but parchment in these stores.
No, this room is weird, though. Don't know why. It's off. Should I break up floor? Would that be too loud?
That would be a little bit loud. What do you mean by weird?
I don't know.
It seems okay to me.
Not surprising. It's fine. We have not time for this. If he comes to sleep and we are here, we're dead. We must move on.
Alright, let's clean up and jam the door on our way up.
Everybody, as your guys are about to leave, roll perception checks.
Jesus. Whoa, girl.
That's a 6 for me.
18.
That's a whole 15.
3.
Good job, Dizzy. That's with a -2. That was a good roll.
Rosie, you are listening very carefully. And you start to hear a few footsteps. Dizzy, you see Rosie just kind of like, there's a little bit of a glint in her eyes that you recognize when she senses danger. And a little tiny voice inside your head says, "Somebody's coming."
We're not going to be alone for very long.
Shh. There's footsteps.
I get under small desk in the corner.
I move back behind something and put a notch in there.
I get under the bed.
I am going to turn into a spider.
I hide.
Everybody roll stealth checks.
Take the hide as a
Do we
bonus
still
action,
have
actually,
plus
for
10?
me.
Yes, you have plus 10.
Thank
Oh.
fucking Christ.
It hasn't been an hour.
Dirty 20.
That's a 30 for me.
16.
I believe that's a 27 for me, and I'm a spider.
Okay. So as you guys quickly run behind the furniture that's inside here, as you guys quickly hide behind some of the furniture, behind the desk, behind the bed, you turn into a little tiny, insignificant little spider and crawl along the wall. You hear the footsteps get louder and louder and louder. Right outside the door. Stops. There's silence for a couple of seconds. As whoever is walking down this hall, you know, is standing right outside that door. But we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back
Oh boy.
Man.
Yay.
on 40 of whatever hour you guys are at. So 15 minutes.
Sounds like it might be a badger.
Oh no.
That's a big boy.
Boy. Alright.
But I gotta say, I'm super excited to start doing things with this mole.
Oh boy.
I
I'm a fucking
cannot wait.
fighter. I can't.
Cannot wait.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.